Should we go in the kitchen? Should we make some lunch? Yeah? Good boy. Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Darren and my blog is running on real food. Today we're heading in the kitchen to make another recipe. We're making broccoli and brown rice bowls with almond satay sauce. They're really good, and I thought it'd be a fun one to make by video because there's some really good parts to it, like coconut bacon and baked tofu, and the almond satay sauce is really good and really easy to make. The bowls also have some kale and broccoli and some carrot. So we'll head in the kitchen in a sec and start off with the coconut bacon. It takes just a few minutes to make. Once that's done, we'll start the tofu. While that's cooking, we will make the sauce and prep the kale, broccoli, and carrot. Put it all together and we're ready to eat. So let's go get started. So before we start making this recipe, let's just go over some of the ingredients you're gonna need to make it. To make the coconut bacon, you'll need some coconut flakes. So I'm using these ones here from Let's Do Organic. So you want like the bigger flaked pieces of coconut is perfect. Along with the coconut, you'll need some tamari, some apple cider vinegar, some pure maple syrup, and some smoked paprika, or regular paprika is fine. I don't have that out, we'll grab that after. Now you'll see a lot of coconut bacon recipes call for liquid smoke. It's not something I normally have on hand, so I just make it without it, and I think it's still really good. So if you have some, you can add a little bit, but I don't think it's necessary, and the recipe will still taste really good without it. For the baked tofu, you'll need some tofu, of course. We're going to use more tamari, a little bit of the maple syrup, and some garlic powder, which I've got back there. For the almond satay sauce, you'll need almond butter. Sun butter is all I have, so this is what I'm using. You can use almond butter or peanut butter, both are totally fine. Some sweet chili sauce, which I've got there, some more tamari, some more apple cider vinegar, and some light coconut. And then for the bowls, you'll need broccoli, kale, carrot, and cooked brown rice. So if you don't have any cooked brown rice on hand, get that started now as well. I'm using quick cooking brown rice, it only takes 10 minutes. But if you just have regular brown rice, you want to start that off now because it takes 45 minutes. So the first thing we're actually going to do is prep the tofu before we make the coconut bacon, just so it can kind of marinate a little bit before we bake it. Okay, so I've got the tofu here. Let's slice this up. I'm going to go with kind of slabs. So to these slabs of tofu, let's add 3 tablespoons of tamari or soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of pure maple syrup, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And I'm going to put a lid on this and just give it a good shake. Flip it over if you want. And let's just set this aside and we'll do the coconut bacon next. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees and add 2 cups of coconut to a bowl. To this, we are adding 2 tablespoons of tamari, 1 tablespoon maple syrup, teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and half a teaspoon paprika. Just give this a stir. Once the coconut bacon's all stirred up, we're gonna place it on a tray. And as much as possible, just spread it around so it's not overlapping. Okay, this looks pretty good. So this is ready for the oven. We're gonna put it in for 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, you can give it a quick shake and then just put it in for about 2 minutes at a time until it's done. Just keep your eye on it because it can burn quite quickly. So let's put it in for the first 5 minutes. So while the coconut bacon's in the oven, let's get this tofu ready. I'm just gonna give it one more flip, shake it up. And let's just pour this bit of extra marinade over top. So the tofu is now ready for the oven, and as soon as the coconut bacon comes out, we're gonna turn the oven up to 400. These are gonna go in for about 20 minutes, and then we'll flip them, and they'll go back in for another 10 to 20 minutes. So I've got the bacon here that's been in for 5 minutes. I just gave it a little stir, and it's going back in the oven. Okay, so the coconut bacon's done. When it comes to the oven, it'll be a little bit soft still, but as it cools, it will completely crisp up. Just make sure that you let it cool completely before you store it so that it stays really nice and crispy. But We're just gonna set this aside and make the sauce, and then we're almost done. Okay, let's make the almond satay sauce next. So, first thing is 3 tablespoons of almond butter. Like I said, I am using sunflower seed butter, which I'm sure will be fine, but ideally you want almond butter, or peanut butter is good too. 3 tablespoons of sweet chili sauce, 2 tablespoons of tamari or soy sauce, a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and 1/4 cup of light coconut milk. Let's give that a good stir. And there's the almond satay sauce. It's actually really good with sunflower seed butter. Okay, that is done. We just gotta prep some veggies and we're almost done. Okay, so the tofu's been in 20 minutes. Just gonna flip these babies. Okay, so these are going back in. So for the broccoli, kale, and carrots, you want about roughly 1 carrot per bowl that you're making, about a cup of broccoli per bowl, and about a cup of kale per bowl. The carrots you can leave raw. I'm just gonna peel them and grate them up. The broccoli I am going to steam, and the kale I'm just gonna chop it up and kind of heat it up in a pan until it's softened and like a nice bright green, so just lightly cooked. This is good to be steamed, so I'm gonna go do that. Kale, just tear the leaves away from the stems. So I've just added the kale to this pan with a splash of water, and I'm gonna cook this up stovetop just for a couple minutes until it's a nice bright green. Okay, let's start putting these bowls together. Everything's ready. I've got my kale here, so we'll start with a little scoop of that. So add some of our carrot. Steamed broccoli is ready. Some brown rice. Baked tofu is here. And lastly, the coconut bacon. So you can hear it's nice and crispy. Finish it off with our almond satay sauce. Okay, so we are done. These are the broccoli and brown rice bowls with almond satay sauce and coconut bacon. You can find this recipe at runningonrealfood.com. I will link up in the description. If you try it, let me know. I hope you enjoy it. Let's eat.